Good morning and welcome to the 445 Productive Through Joy show with your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. The show airs each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel. I'm glowing right now. And then at 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live today. Bam! Today we're talking about truth and productivity. What is the connection between truth telling, truth in advertising, truth in living, truth in intention, truth in articulation of your highest being, in productivity? How do those two particular entities come into play? Which is a really interesting connection, as you'll soon see. Thanks for being here. So, if you're new to the show, you can please hit the subscribe button there before you become a subscriber. We get all these videos for free. I did say free. One, two, three, four, free. We appreciate you. You can also go to productivethroughjoy.com, see how we do what we do, when we do, while we do. We speak to groups and schools and organizations about being productive through joy. Extremely powerful narrative-based process. Narrative because, as I'll tell you now, a bit about myself. There's a narrative connection to this whole business. So this is your host and your boy, Dr. Michael Datcher. I'm the author of the New York Times bestseller, Raising Fences, which was a Today Show Book of the Month pick. That book's film rights were optioned by the actor Will Smith, whose people call My People, and I eventually agreed to write the screenplay for this particular project. That particular project, I'm also the author of the acclaimed historical novel Americas, which is set 13 miles from Ferguson, where Michael Brown was murdered, and of course the conflagration that ensued initially there as well. That book interrogates the intersection of race and violence in America. I've been on book tour for that book. This came out in officially came out in September. So we're back off the break now because the holidays. I'm probably coming to a town near you as we enter into February, so look for me everywhere. Yes, I'm also the board president of the World Stage, a great literary and jazz venue here in Los Angeles. 501c3 nonprofit. You can come out to, if you're in LA, whenever you come to LA, you have to go to the World Stage. It's a great venue, 7 days a week of workshops and programs and concerts. Tonight we're doing a big celebration of Dexter Gordon. If you know jazz, you know that name. Come on out, 4321 Dayton Boulevard, LA 90008. Yeah, that'll be tonight. Really powerful program around Dexter Gordon's life and music. What else? I should also probably say that my educational background is UC Berkeley as an undergraduate, my master's from UCLA, and my PhD in English literature from the University of California at Riverside. I am currently a professor of English lit at LMU here in Los Angeles. I am an expert at being productive, right? I don't say that to brag or boast. But people are oftentimes surprised at my level of productivity given my crazy background. I am the product of a young girl who was raped at 16 in a very tough story. Gave birth to me at 17 and subsequently gave me up for adoption to a single divorcee who was amazing. Yet at the time, no biological father, no adopted father. It was in difficult times for the young MD. Yet as Cool Modi famously said, "Hi, you like me now." And if I can be this productive through joy, so can many of us who are watching this show. So thanks for being here. We love and respect you here. Let's dive in. And so we're talking, guys, today about truth and productivity. And that particular idea is controversial. And we're talking about truth in both the micro and the macro, condition. When you talk about truth, that means it's a power play because you're talking about whose truth are you talking about? Who has the power to determine what the truth is? As Foucault famously said in his power knowledge paradigm, the idea that those in power oftentimes have the power to determine which knowledge, which truth is legitimate. And so truth is oftentimes tied to who has the power to determine what that truth is. And so we want to start at the same time, though Nietzsche talked about how there is no truth. He really lobbied against the idea that since there is no verifiable truth, that people should play and joyously embrace that and live live in that space of creating uh, outside the barriers of defined truth, right? Because if there's no truth, that means you have more freedom. So he argued. So we're talking about though uh, the idea that you want to be able to identify your own truth. I'll call this the lower T truth for now, right? You want to be able to identify your own truth, like the thing that for you. You could also think of it as your purpose. Like what for you do you want to bring to the earth? What do you see as your particular special gift to bring forward, to unfold, to reveal on the planet? And that takes some work. We oftentimes have to unlisten to, unhear, uh, scrape off some of the teachings and ideas of those, even those who love us, who tried to frame us, who tried to literally frame us, who tried to place their own imprint on our lives. In some ways, with good intentions, but oftentimes tied to their own egos, making us into a version of them, shaping us into their particular shape. So, a part of this search for our own internal truth is being able to scrape off that and find out what's going to work for us, which goes right into point two. We argue that there actually is a truth. That truth is spirit, the one, the primordial thing, the thing that was here first. You can look at many of the so-called great world religions, and they speak about this kind of eternal essence. If you don't believe in a God or spirituality, you may be a scientist. I'm a professor, so many of my colleagues are scientists, and they oftentimes talk about in physics the ideal of energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed; it's always been here. In much the same way that people talk about God or spirit. So, listen, choose your own nomenclature. We don't care. We're saying that there's something that's larger, that's eternal, that's everywhere, right? And we're saying that that is a kind of truth. And you want to be able to tap into that eternal thing, the thing that was here first. Those who subscribe to the Big Bang Theory don't have a way to really talk about how the things that led to the Big Bang got here, right? The constancy of the spirit, call it God, spirit, uh, is science. Something had to be here to start the Big Bang. A Big Bang, like those initial building blocks, especially how intelligent they're organized. I don't know. We call that thing God, but you can call it something else. It's totally fine. Um, you want to tap into that God, that thing that's everywhere. If that God energy thing is everywhere, it's got to also be inside of you. You want to go within and tap into that, which goes right into point three. As you're making this kind of internal journey, tap into the spirit, the God, the primordial energy, the universal law thing that's inside of you, the Jesus that's inside of you, that's power. And what you're tapping into is that type of primordial truth, which is also a kind of primordial power. And power, energy, it takes that to get done what needs to get done to be our greatest selves. And we're saying take advantage of that when you can, while you can, and watch what happens. Boom, goes the dynamite. That's it for today's show. We air each weekday morning, hella early AF at 4:45 a.m. here on YouTube's Michael Datcher channel and 4:45 p.m. on Facebook Live. Please go to productivethroughjoy.com, see about us. We speak to groups, schools, and organizations about being productive through joy. What else should we say? That's it. If you're in LA, definitely have me come out and speak to your group, school, or organization. We have a very, very powerful program rooted in the idea of the narrative, because everyone's life is telling a story. In the past, has told a story. Everyone's life is telling a story right now, and we also have the power to determine what story we want our lives to tell in the future. So that's how we conceptualize this idea. Reach out to us. If you're in LA this weekend, coming down to the world stage, tonight we have the great Dexter Gordon celebration, 4321 Degnan Boulevard in Leimert Park, which is the African American kind of arts and political enclave here in LA. Yeah, man. Also support, if you're again in LA, reach out to the city attorney's office in support of Dr. Melina Abdullah. She's the leader of Black Lives Matter here in LA. Brought up on false charges like of assaulting a police officer because she was at a commission meeting. You know how it goes sometimes when you're fighting for justice. Thanks for being here. We'll see you soon. Deuces.